A 24-year-old truck with 200,000 miles on it just sold for more than a brand new compact sedan. Used trucks from 2010 are commanding $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 and selling in days. Meanwhile, the 2024 F-150 starts at $36,000, and its turbocharged engine is generating documented timing chain complaints before 60,000 miles. Owners are looking at $3,000 to $5,000 repair bills on trucks still under monthly payments. Consumer Reports has consistently ranked trucks from 2007 through 2015 above their modern replacements in predicted reliability, and the industry has been silent about why. The market already knows the truth. The resale prices are telling you. If you are making $900 a month on a new truck right now, this video is going to make you genuinely furious. Here is what the dealership does not want you to calculate. The auto industry spent 20 years telling you that newer is better, that modern engineering is more reliable, that smaller, turbocharged engines are a technological step forward. But there is a difference between better for the manufacturer and better for you. What changed is not the engineers. What changed is the master they are engineering for. Corporate average fuel economy regulations, the federal rules that set the miles per gallon targets every manufacturer's entire fleet must hit, turned engine design into a compliance exercise. Horsepower per liter went up, oil viscosity went down, tolerances went from generous to microscopic. And the trucks that got caught in that squeeze are the ones sitting in driveways right now, ticking quietly toward an expensive breakdown. The trucks on this list were built before that squeeze arrived. They were built when durability was the product. Here are 5 of them, all available for under $15,000. And every one of them is engineered to outlast the truck your dealer is trying to sell you today. Number 5. The Nissan Frontier, 2005 through 2012. This truck was mocked when it was new. Auto journalists called it underpowered, bland, behind the times. That reputation is exactly why it is still running when flashier trucks are in the salvage yard. The 4.0-liter V6 in this generation Frontier, the VQ40DE, is a naturally aspirated engine with a single chain timing system and no turbocharger, no direct injection, and no start-stop wear cycling that wears out your bearings 40 times on your morning commute. Owner forums and long-term fleet reports document this engine regularly, reaching 300,000 miles on standard maintenance intervals. That is not a rumor. That is a pattern repeated across hundreds of documented examples. But here is what makes this more significant than just a mileage number. The VQ40DE was built with what engineers call margin, the gap between what the engine is stressed to and what it is actually capable of handling. Modern turbocharged engines eliminate that margin entirely to squeeze out fractions of a mile per gallon for EPA testing. This engine kept it, and that means long-term durability. Wide bearing clearances, moderate cylinder pressures, oil film thick enough to protect the components even if you are 1,000 miles late on a change. At $10,000 to $12,000 for a clean example, you are paying less than the down payment on a new Frontier. And if something ever does wear out, any competent independent mechanic can work on it without a factory scan tool and a 3-week parts back order. That kind of real-world durability is part of the appeal. There is one known issue to inspect before you buy. The automatic transmission on some of these trucks uses a cooler built into the radiator, and when that radiator fails, coolant can contaminate the transmission fluid. Have a mechanic check the fluid color and smell before any purchase. It is a known problem, it is a manageable problem, and knowing about it is the difference between a smart buy and an expensive surprise. Number 4. The Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 1500, 2007 through 2013. The 5.3-liter V8 in this generation is one of the most documented high-mileage engines in American truck history. We are talking about a pushrod overhead valve V8, a design with fewer moving parts than any modern turbocharged four-cylinder, no overhead camshafts, no cam phasers, and an architecture so serviceable that independent shops have been rebuilding it for decades. Fleet operators, municipal governments, and commercial buyers ran these engines to 200,000, 250,000, 300,000 miles. The data is not theoretical. But here's what makes this specific generation worth your attention above the others. General Motors later added active fuel management, or AFM, to this engine. It is a cylinder deactivation system that shuts down 4 of the 8 cylinders at light throttle to save fuel. On paper, a smart efficiency tool. In the real world, a documented failure point. The AFM system uses small hydraulic lifters that collapse on command, and those lifters fail. When they fail, the repair runs between $2,500 and $4,500. Early examples in this generation, specifically 2007 through 2009 models without AFM, avoid that failure mode entirely. You are not just buying old iron. You are buying before the cost-cutting compromise arrived. The regulatory pressure to hit fuel economy targets pushed General Motors to add a system their own engineers knew added risk. Your repair bill was the acceptable outcome of that calculation. A Silverado built before AFM, priced at $11,000 with 140,000 miles, sidesteps all of it. Check the RPO codes on the door jamb sticker to confirm whether a specific truck has AFM before you buy. Known weaknesses to inspect include the four-wheel drive transfer case encoder motor, which is a common wear item, and the automatic transmission, which can show shift quality issues at high mileage. Neither is a deal breaker. Both are negotiating points. Number 3. The Ford F-250 Super Duty with the 6.7-liter Power Stroke diesel, 2011 through 2014. If you are finding this information helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to support this channel. Thank you. This is the truck that changed what Ford diesel meant. The previous engine in this chassis, the 6.4-liter, had well-documented reliability problems, severe enough that Ford ended the supplier relationship and designed the 6.7 entirely in-house. What they built was a turbo diesel engineered from the ground up for sustained commercial load. Contractors, farmers, fleet operators pulling heavy equipment 5 days a week. Documented examples in commercial service have exceeded 400,000 miles with the original engine block. At that mileage, the engine is considered middle-aged by diesel standards. Here's why that matters to you right now. From 150,000 to 200,000 miles, a properly maintained 6.7 Power Stroke is approaching the beginning of its most reliable years, past the break-in period. Components seated and worn in. Any early production variants long since identified and addressed. That same mileage on a modern 2.7-liter turbocharged gasoline F-150 puts you squarely in the window where timing chains stretch. Cam phaser wear and turbo bearing degradation are documented in owner complaints and manufacturer service bulletins. One truck is entering its stride. The other is approaching its first major crossroads. But here is what makes the diesel case even stronger. The diesel combustion cycle produces less heat stress per firing event than a gasoline engine working at equivalent load. The 6.7 was not engineered to hit an EPA test number. It was engineered to not break under real work. Fuel economy in real towing conditions runs approximately 16 to 20 miles per gallon, according to owner reports, not dramatically worse than a modern gasoline half-ton doing the same job. In the $12,000 to $15,000 range, at higher mileage, this truck represents the most towing capacity and the most documented longevity per dollar on this entire list. There are known issues to address before purchase. Early 2011 models have documented high-pressure fuel pump concerns. Specifically, the CP4 pump, which can fail and send metal debris through the entire fuel system. Have a diesel specialist inspect the fuel system. Do not rely on a general mechanic. EGR cooler inspection is also standard due diligence on any diesel in this era. These are not reasons to avoid the truck. They are reasons to buy it from someone who maintained it properly. Number 2. The Toyota Tundra, 2007 through 2013, with the 5.7-liter iForce 5.8. Toyota killed this engine, not because it failed, because it burned too much fuel for the regulators to allow any more. The 3URFE 5.7 is a double overhead cam, naturally aspirated V8 that Toyota engineered with what insiders describe as intentionally wide tolerances, more clearance between moving components than strictly required for the rated output. This is the engineering philosophy that defines the difference between this generation and what replaced it. Wide tolerances mean the engine tolerates oil that is slightly degraded, oil that is 1,000 miles late on a change, oil that is a half-quart low on a road trip. Modern high-stress, turbocharged engines with micron-level tolerances cannot forgive any of that. One missed service interval on a modern twin turbo V6 can begin a wear cycle that ends in a 5-figure repair. The Tundra 5.7 absorbs that same neglect and keeps running. Consumer Reports has historically ranked this generation Tundra at or near the top of full-size truck reliability surveys, a position earned by real owner data across hundreds of thousands of miles, not marketing claims. And here is where the story gets genuinely uncomfortable for Toyota's current customers. The brand replaced this engine with a twin turbocharged V6 for the current generation Tundra. Early owner reports and documented complaints suggest timing chain and oil-related issues appearing at 40,000 to 60,000 miles, a pattern uncomfortably similar to the problems surfacing in turbocharged engines across the industry. Toyota did not make the engine worse because they wanted to. They made it worse because the fuel economy rules left them no choice. The 5.7 you can buy for $13,000 today is the version Toyota built when durability was still the point. One critical inspection item is frame rust. Toyota issued a frame replacement program for certain trucks from this era in Rust Belt states, and the scope of that program is worth researching for any specific vehicle you are considering. Run the VIN. Check the frame in person. Do not skip this step. Number 1. The Toyota Tacoma, 2005 through 2015. The market has already delivered its verdict on this truck. A used Tacoma with 180,000 miles holds its resale value better than a used F-150 with 80,000 miles. That is not opinion. That is what buyers are actually paying, documented in real transaction data across major used vehicle pricing platforms. The reason is not brand loyalty or nostalgia. It is accumulated evidence. 200,000-mile Tacomas are common. 300,000-mile Tacomas exist in documented numbers. The engines responsible, the 2 TRFE 4-cylinder and the 1 GRFE 4.0 V6, are naturally aspirated, timing chain equipped, and built with the same tolerance margin philosophy that defines every truck on this list. No turbocharger, no cylinder deactivation, no start-stop wear cycling, no intercooler, no cam phasers, just displacement, compression, and oil. The 1 GRFE V6 timing chain is documented to last the life of the engine under normal maintenance. When something does fail, the parts are inexpensive. The repair manual is available for free in a dozen online forums, and any shop in the country can work on it without specialized equipment. But here's the part that reframes the entire conversation. Toyota updated the Tacoma for 2024 with a turbocharged engine. Whether that engine earns the same reputation over the next 20 years is genuinely unknown. The data does not exist yet. For 2005 through 2015, the data is already in. 20 years of it. And it points in one direction. Imagine this. You bought a 2022 F-150 3 years ago. 36 months of $900 payments. You have been careful. Oil changes on schedule. Dealer service. The full routine. You are at 67,000 miles. Then on the highway, you hear it. A faint tick that was not there last week. You take it to the dealer. The service advisor comes out with a tablet and a flat expression. Cam phaser wear. Timing chain stretch. Not covered under the powertrain warranty at this mileage. The estimate is $4,200. You still owe $28,000 on the truck. You are making payments on a vehicle sitting in a service bay for a repair that costs more than a clean used Tacoma on the lot next door. The mechanic does not say it out loud, but you can read it in his face. This will not be the last repair like this. The truck industry spent 2 decades telling you that new technology means better reliability. What it actually means is more complexity, tighter tolerances, and more engineered failure points, built to a cost target set by regulators, not by the people who actually drive trucks. Corporate average fuel economy standards forced every manufacturer to make the same fundamental compromise: smaller engines, thinner oil, microscopic tolerances, and more components that can fail. Your repair bill was the acceptable outcome of that calculation. The trucks on this list were built before that calculation was made. They were built when the only standard that mattered was whether the truck was still running at 300,000 miles. Before you buy any of these trucks, here is what you need to do. First, run the VIN through the NHTSA recall database before you spend a single dollar. Even older trucks carry open recalls that cost nothing to fix, but everything to ignore. Second, for any diesel, hire a diesel specialist for the pre-purchase inspection, not a general mechanic. The fuel system issues specific to this era require someone who knows exactly what to look for. Third, pay $150 for an independent pre-purchase inspection from a shop with no financial interest in the sale. Fourth, on any Tacoma or Tundra from the Rust Belt, inspect the frame in person and research the model year specific frame replacement history before you commit. Fifth, pull an oil sample through a mail and analysis service before purchase. $35 of laboratory data tells you more about engine condition than any visual inspection. Sixth, search the specific VIN in owner forms for your model. The people who drove these trucks to 200,000 miles documented everything, and that knowledge is yours for free. Have you put serious miles on one of these trucks, or did you get burned switching to a modern turbocharged engine? Drop your mileage and your story in the comments, because that is where the real reliability data lives, and it is data the manufacturers would rather not see in one place. If this video helped you think differently about your next truck purchase, hit that like button and subscribe for more. The next video might save you even more money.